I was expecting an intro then, so I'll do myself. Good afternoon, everyone. It's Karl from Newcastle Fans TV. Today I'm joined by Sam and Brandon. Mood's completely changed within 5 minutes, so I'm sure everyone else is absolutely over the moon or doesn't know how to feel about the result today. We've gone and got a point at Spurs. How we've pulled that off, I don't know. An assist from VAR, but we're going to score the players. Before we do that, Sam, Brandon, how are we?
I just don't know how to feel anymore. Someone called 999. Spurs have just been robbed, but I like it.
Let's say I just take it. I just take the steal.
Yeah. Did you? Did either of you see the tweet Luke Edwards has just put out? By the way,
I haven't.
Yes. About comparing that to the Brighton Man United game. Crazy.
So, yes, as we all know, we've come out with a point. I think we can all be honest to say we didn't deserve that, to be honest. But Sam made a very good point just before we started. Tottenham had more than enough chances, and they haven't taken those chances. And unfortunately, at times, as these things come back and bite you in the arse, can't they? So we'll take it. We'll take that point, especially off the back of a poor result against Brighton last week. As I said, we're going to get into scoring the players. I think we can all agree probably quite low ratings for the majority of them, I would say. A few of them probably didn't do themselves any disservice, to be fair. But we'll start with Karl Darlow, and I'll go to Sam with that one. I think it's probably quite a nice, easy one for you, mate.
It is, because he was man of the match today, and there was only really... He's the reason why this was possible, in essence, because we could have been 2-0 down again after 4 minutes. He made a fantastic double save, and we gave away a couple of really silly free kicks in and around the box. He's getting a 9 out of 10 for me, because he deserves it. As simple as that. If it was Dubravka, we'd all be lauding him. So Darlow deserves the exact same treatment. He was absolutely immense in the sticks today, and proves why he was offered a new contract. Proves why he's still at the club and why he hasn't been sold. And he was. I mean, I've always liked Darlow. I've never said a bad word about him on the channel, to be honest.
And that's also why he's before Ritchie as well.
Yeah, exactly right. So he was brilliant. Got angry at the defence at the right times as well, which is more than justified, which we will come on to very shortly. It was a foot perfect, near perfect game for him. So and he's saved us today, like Dubravka did last season. He was immense, 9 out of 10.
Absolutely, because there's some quite difficult saves, some really, really good reflex saves from him, wasn't there, to be fair? And I think, like you said, near perfect. Had we come out with a 1-0 win, though, he's getting a 10 all day long, isn't he? He was brilliant today. And like you said, he's the reason that we've managed to nick this point. Coming over to yourself, Brandon, how do you think Javi Manquillo played today?
I think out of all the defenders together with Fernandez, he played the best of all of them. Ritchie did okay, could have saved the goal of Tottenham. But I would say Manquillo, I give him like a 6.5.
Yeah. Obviously, we had a chat about it. You placing the blame a little bit on Lascelles with regards to the goal. Yeah. What's your thought process on that, mate?
Well, just Jamal, he was just marking air, and it seemed like for me that he got like a little foot to it, and he could have cleared it, in my opinion, more. But some people may disagree. I don't know.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Myself over to Jamaal Lascelles. It's quite a difficult one. I feel like I'm going to bash him twice in a week, to be honest. I don't think he's had a very good game again at all, to be fair. I'm going to give him a 4.
Yeah, I agree with 4.
He looks panicking, man. In the defense, like he could play the ball back to Darlow, and that's it. And he just shoots it out in the air, like no clue.
I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know where this lack of confidence has come from, because I agree with that. It doesn't seem anywhere near the kind of ball playing centre half that we used to. He doesn't seem as calm and collected as he has been in the past. I'm not saying that Fernandez had an amazing game, but if he wasn't there, I think would have we'd have been absolutely hammered, to be honest, because I think Lascelles has had another poor game. Moving on from him, we'll come back over to yourself, Sam, for his centre-half partner, Fernandez. What are you rating him today?
Slightly better, but still poor. I mean, the scoreline doesn't reflect just how poor we were today. Spurs should have killed us off by half time, so he's only getting a 5 as Fernandez. I do disagree. Just to pick up on a point, that I don't think that their goal was Lascelles' fault at all. I don't mean to have done about it, being so close to the play, but it was by no means his finest 90 minutes by a long stretch.
But he could have managed that situation way better than he did. Right, he was defending nothing. Fernandez took the man, and he was in between.
When you're looking at loads of slow-mo replays, then yeah, maybe, but in real time,
I'm not saying it's all his fault though.
Ritchie should have been doing better with that. But Fernandez wasn't his best, but we've got away with it. There's no two ways about it. So no one really will be scoring highly today. Let's face it. No. Apart from Darlow, who was, absolutely.
I'm not totally agree with that though, but we'll come to that later though, probably.
So, Fernandez is getting a 5 from me.
Cool. I would agree with that as well. Back over to yourself, Brandon. Usually Mr. Consistent, Isaac Hayden. How do you rate his play today?
Isaac, he did okay. I would say he's a 6. He did defensively. He did his work. He played okay. Not super good, but decent.
Do you feel like I'm not sure if you'd agree? Do you think there was times where he got caught out of position a little bit and we maybe compromised for that?
True, but he has to do the work. But you mean yeah? But I think he played well compared to like other midfielders. Yeah. Jonjo was for me invisible today.
I think Hayden struggled at centre-back, to be honest. He looked a lot more assured when he went back to his normal position in the middle of the park and we switched to a flat-back 4, which came a bit too late. We gave Tottenham more or less a 40-minute head start, but luckily they only got 1 goal. But hey-ho, I don't think... it's a shame Kieran Clark's injured, let's put it that way.
Yeah, it is. It is, to be fair. I absolutely agree with that. And I think... we spoke about it briefly with regards to the left-hand side. I can't wait until Dummett's back, to be honest. I really can't. I can't wait until he's back. I think we miss him massively, personally. But yeah, I'll come over to myself. Matt Ritchie. Again, I thought it wasn't at the races today, to be honest. Caught out positionally again. I don't think his passing was great, alongside with some others whose passing was poor, to be honest. But yeah, I thought it was another passenger. He struggled with Son and Kane today. He's getting a 4 from me. I don't know how you boys feel about that.
But he deserved to be in the squad starting 11, right? After the game last.
Yeah, I was happy with him starting, mate. I was happy with him starting, definitely. I'm never going to be against Matt Ritchie starting because usually you expect him to bring everything he's got. I just thought he got found out today, personally. Against a really good Tottenham side, especially in the first half. I think we were all over the shop and that showed the way they were able to get, 10, 11 shots before half-time. So, yeah, he gets a 4 from me. Over to yourself, Sam. Jonjo.
Middle of the park was poor today in every sense. Jonjo, a couple of his passes came off, but 99% of them didn't. I'm going to go with 4 again. There just wasn't. It was just very uninspired. A bit petty early on as well. He was the one that gave away an early free kick, which I thought had gone out of his game. But that happened last week at Brighton as well. Disappointing. I think him and Hendrick didn't work great together in the midfield, and things did look better once we'd switched to a 4. Hendrick went off, and Hayden resumed his partnership with Shelvey in the middle. But on the whole, poor display.
I think I absolutely agree with that. I think Jonjo's always at his best when he's got Isaac Hayden there, because you've got Hayden to do the dog work, and it allows him to do what he needs to do. He certainly hasn't got that partnership with Hendrick at the moment, and I think, I don't know what it is. I agree with you 100%. I'm a bit worried about it, this pettiness that's creeping back in with him. I don't know where it's suddenly come from, because it seemed like, as you said, he completely got rid of that. But yeah, if he starts getting that back in, he's definitely not going to be able to push on for an England place, especially after the performances he's had lately. Over to yourself, Brandon. Just talked about him briefly there. Jeff Hendrick, how do you think he played today?
Let's give him.
Mate. Is that good or bad?
I don't know. Like in the first half, I thought he was okay. Second half, I didn't see him at all. Meaning first half he did okay, like defensively sometimes. Second half, haven't seen him. So I would say 4.5.
Yeah. I wouldn't disagree with that. I thought he was. I almost forgot he was playing in the second half, to be honest. I must admit. Less said about that, the better. I'll move over to myself with Miguel Almiron. Again, frustrating. I think
sloppy.
His passing was poor at times. It really was. He had the energy as he usually does. Maybe not as much. Might be lacking a little bit of match fitness. Still a good outlet, but I thought his passing at times was sloppy, and he was nowhere near at his best.
He was played out of position though. He was started on the right hand side. I mean, it's just so frustrating because he cannot play on that right hand side. He's a number 10, or he can do a job on the left. I mean, when me and Johnny spoke to Roberto Rojas last week on Greenwood and Mulliner, he just says, this is someone who's watched Almiron for his whole career.
Yeah.
And when Bruce started him for that first game that was referenced to back last season against Arsenal at home, when he was on the right-hand side there, it was just absolutely mind-boggling. And he's done it again. I just don't know why. I mean, you had players out of position at the start all over the place, and it was just another case of headless chickens, and Almiron suffered for that.
Yeah, positive on Almiron, although I would say he was busy, he was active, he chased the ball around.
Yeah.
So that's a positive, but his passing game has to be better next game.
Sure. I agree. I think off the back of that, I'm going to give him a 5.5. It might be a little. Some people might think that's too high, but I can never fault his work rate. That's always in there. So
I agree with you on that one.
Sam, moving back to yourself, mate. This one's probably a bit of a surprise, and we'll. Maybe he can kick on with some confidence from this, because I think he's another one where we can take positives from. Joelinton, how do you think he played today?
I think he was our best outfield player today. Make of that what you will.
Yeah.
So on that basis, I mean, Manquillo got a 6.5, didn't he? So I'm going to give Joelinton a 7. I think he looked a lot more assured. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't brilliant.
Yeah.
But in kind of context to how the team played, he was, as I say, one of our. He was the best outfield player. Did quite well down that left hand side, has to be said.
Mm-hmm. That's where he normally played for Hoffenheim as well, though.
Hoffenheim,
yeah, it was. Did a couple of good things. Cut in nicely once in the first half, but it was a kind of neither a cross or a shot, really.
Yeah.
But besides that, after all the stick he gets, I think it's more than deserved as well. If he plays decent or good, we have to point it out.
My big bugbear with him has always been.
And the abuse from some supporters is terrible.
Yeah,
I've seen that on his Instagram post.
We never condone that stuff because we're all human at the end of the day. But my biggest bugbear from him has always been his positional play when he's played up front, and I think he was a lot more assured on that left-hand side. So fair play to him. Hopefully, there's still a lot of work to do.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because I agree with that. 100%.
Let's keep that line up, though.
Yeah, definitely. And this isn't a criticism of Joelinton per se. I'm not digging him out at all because I thought he had a good game as well. There were a couple of times where he drifted inside because he's used to playing striker almost at the moment. And again, when the ball was coming out, his positioning was bad, which just reiterated that he's definitely not a striker. And he was far more effective on the left-hand side, like you say. And I think he just looked so comfortable cutting inside against a decent Spurs back four, to be fair to him. He shook people off. He didn't have any issues. It was the first time in a while where I've looked and thought, there's that player that's somewhere inside him, if that makes sense. He was good on the ball technically, I thought, and I'm not saying he was a world beater today. I wasn't Maximin or anything like that, but I agree. He did some things that I was really, really happy with, and he seemed comfortable in there. So if he can kick on with that sort of performance, like you said, we've got to give him the positives where they're due.
As well, the German league is not a piss league, and he did pretty okay there. So there must be something in there, right?
But
like
it just comes to another thing, doesn't it? Like we've already said, it's trying to get our head around Bruce's tactics, playing people out of position all the time.
I mean, there was every chance he shouldn't have been starting today as well. I mean, Fraser had a late knock to his groin, which isn't serious, but I mean, Fraser may well have been the one that was meant to start today. So
yeah,
fair play to Joelinton, but there's more to do.
Definitely, mate. Definitely. Moving it back over to yourself, Brandon. Callum Wilson. He's obviously gone and got us the winner. Under
true.
pressure, to be fair.
If he wouldn't have that penalty before VAR, we would never have that penalty. But if he wouldn't have made that, I would give him a 5. But he scored, so I'll give him like a 6.5.
Okay.
He held the ball up sometimes good, but I don't know. Not his game versus West Ham where he was brilliant, in my opinion. 6.5, I would say.
Yeah, he's had one shot and under massive pressure after the VAR incident and taking that penalty, and he's absolutely dispatched it, no problem at all. So, yeah, that's a striker for you. That's what we've been missing.
Definitely.
Do nothing for 90 minutes, one chance, bang. That's what they're there for.
Yeah, I'll pay 20 million for that all day long, not a problem at all.
Imagine Joelinton going behind that ball, taking the penalty, or Callum Wilson. I felt a lot
We'd have
more,
all been hiding behind the side.
There you go.
Absolutely. Oh, gosh,
but Joelinton had a good game, so let's forget about what I just said.
Yeah. Then we've obviously made a few substitutions. I'll come over to myself with Jamal Lewis, who's obviously come back from the knock. It seems like it was quite a nasty one in the end as well, to be fair to him. But yeah, again, I haven't said anything positive about Jamal Lewis in the last 3 weeks, to be honest, other than him going forward. Defensively, I've not been impressed so far. And that are probably unfair in giving him criticism because he's obviously only just joined the club and he needs to bed in. But again, I just thought he was getting caught out of position down that left-hand side, having to chase people back. And I'm worried about his positioning. People might disagree with me on that one because I do agree going forward he's got a good partnership with Maximin, it seems, and I think he can be really effective, but I do worry when people are running at him.
You're already convinced about that good partnership with saint-maximin?
Going forward,
we just seen
going forward,
I don't know, I still have to see though. I'm not 100% convinced.
What are you giving him out of 10?
Yeah, sorry mate, that being said, what did he play, 15-20 minutes?
No, I think it was longer than that. He was the first sub, wasn't he? Yeah, he went because Ritchie went off injured. So
yes,
I think
sorry,
it was about
it was good half an hour.
minutes.
Yeah, I'll give him a 4.5. He definitely wasn't.
Just
even
for balance, I want to make the point. I like him.
Yeah, this is the thing. I don't dislike him at all. I don't. I really don't. I don't. I don't think it's even his fault because there was times where Ritchie was doing the same thing. Is that down that left hand side? It always seems like the fullback that's playing there is always getting pulled in by Lascelles too far into the area, and we're not closing down the wingers enough. So I can understand where people are coming from, like berating me for it because it's always him that's starting at the moment. So I'm always giving him the stick, but.
Yeah, I agree in what you say. It's not been, he had a torrid time last week. I felt a bit sorry for him because he had no help at all against Lamperty.
No, he didn't.
I mean, Lamperty did the exact same thing to Manchester United yesterday as well. So
yeah, he did.
I mean, Doherty's a good player. Took a yellow for the team, didn't he? But I think, given time, I think Jamal Lewis will prove to be an excellent piece of business.
Yeah, well,
I agree. He needs time, man.
100%. Like I said, I'm already sold on him going forward. Absolutely, I've got no issues with that at all. It's just, I think I'm just looking for negatives, to be fair. But moving back over to yourself, Sam, Jacob Murphy, who some of us thought should probably have started. To be fair, what are your thoughts?
Like you say, very unlucky in a way not to start. I thought he was okay when he came on. Looked quite sharp. Looked a whole looked a whole new player really from the Jacob Murphy that played in the Premier League last time. I think that season-long loan done him the world of good. Maybe it was just a bit too early for him when Rafa signed him for the Premiership or the Premier League. He did well. He was relatively. I say did well. I mean, on a whole,
in context,
in context, he was lively. Had a few nice touches. Looked, got stuck in with some challenges here and there. I quite liked his work today from when he was on. I think, to coin a horrid phrase, like a new signing. He is. He looks a completely different Jacob Murphy, and fair play to the lad. There's nothing better to see than a lad who's determined to prove everyone wrong, come back and is starting to do so now.
No, I agree. I think from what I've seen on social media, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like the majority of the fan base are happy are of the same mindset as us with that as well, to be fair. So, yeah, I definitely want good things for the lad, because I was happy when we signed him, to be honest. And like you say, hopefully it was just a case of a little bit too much too soon, and we can start seeing some positive things from him more often. So, yeah, I would agree with that 6 out of 10, definitely. I mean, back over to yourself, Brandon. Andy Carroll, mate. I know it's a tough one.
It's painful, man. You just want to do the lad to do well, but I don't know. Maybe his time is over. Although I would love to see him doing well. I think some people might agree with me. Maybe if he gets his first league goal in, maybe he start performing better. But I don't know. Maybe he's just his physique, or I don't know.
Do you think
getting older? Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's definitely going to play a factor on the fact that he's been injured for so long.
It looks like he's slower. It's not his physique. He's still strong, but he's just like slower, if it makes sense.
Yeah. What are you rating him, mate?
Because I liked a lot, I gave him a 4.
Because you like him. What would you have given him if you didn't like him?
No comment.
That's a fair point, mate. Yeah.
Won the penalty.
Pardon?
Won the penalty, didn't he?
Yeah, I was just going to say that, like, if talking about it, yes, he's not the striker.
Okay, let's give him a 5. He won the penalty.
No, don't change mine. I actually agree with you for 4 there, but
nowhere near the striker he once was.
Horrendous when he came on up until then. I mean, all we were doing in that last 5 minutes were appealing for penalties anyway, so one of them was bound to come off with VAR, wasn't it?
Honestly, I was watching it, I was like, this is just embarrassing. Like, that's what football's becoming at the moment, though, isn't it? So it really is. Like you said, everything was a penalty claim, everything was handball. Do you think? Because I agree with everything that's been said about Andy Carroll. We all want him to do well. Do you think that we've just got to start looking at him as that person that just makes a bit of a nuisance for 10, 15 minutes, and that's all he's good for at the moment?
Yeah, we should just leave it by
Sam
that.
doesn't look happy.
No, I think you are right what you say. It just makes me think that we need to bring in another striker.
Definitely do.
And
what do you reckon, though?
I mean, you've got to look at the loan market, haven't you? So, someone from, Origi.
Tough one, right?
Who?
It's a tough one.
Yeah, it is a real tough one. Origi.
Not much possibility.
Yeah, exactly. But if Wilson's injured, we're
screwed.
Oh, yeah, we're good.
Because then Bruce will probably play Joelinton up top again.
Yeah.
We know how that worked out. So he's better on the left, like he was today.
Definitely, mate. Talking to Steve Bruce, obviously we've gone and got the win. He's done what we probably expected him to in terms of putting.
It feels like a win, but we haven't got the win.
Sorry, gone and got. That's what it is. Do you know what? I'm so used to.
But I want to make a point for Steve Bruce, though, man. A lot of people give him stick. I still like a lot. He won 7-0 this week. He got a point today, undeserved though, but I would still give him a 7 out of 10. I give him a 7 out of 10 for this week. Yes, for this week.
7?
Yes.
For today's game. It's not about this week, though. It's about today's game.
Today's game. Yes, as well. We got a point against Tottenham. Everyone would have signed for a point against Tottenham, don't we? But what would you give?
Yeah, 100%. I'm always taking a point at Tottenham. I was saying, if it 1-0 at half time, I'm taking again at 1-0.
In the end, it doesn't matter how we've done it. We've got the point.
I agree to a certain extent, mate. But like, it was just, I don't know. What worries me is that he'll see that this has worked, and he might move forward with this. Like, I don't trust his tactics anymore. And I'm similar to you. Like, I'll always try and be positive with Steve Bruce where possible, because he deserves it when he deserves it, and he does usually take the negatives on board as well. But I've got to go with I'm going with a 3. I am today. I'm going with a 3.
Maybe I'm biased. I think the lot's very likable, and he's one of our own.
I agree with that. 100%. 100%.
So maybe I
disagree.
But
it's very hard for me to be like critical of him. You just want a lot to do well, right? I don't know.
Of course. I want him to do well. I want him to do well.
God, yeah. You never wish ill on anyone, but the fact is, we were absolutely abysmal today, and the tactics employed were horrendous.
But
there was no shape, no clue, no tactics, no ideas, nothing. And it all stems from the manager, and he was too late to change things again. And even when he did change things, it was because Ritchie got injured. He was forced to change things. And then when he brought Lewis on, he didn't want Lewis playing wing back, so he changed to a flat back 4. It did not work today for the first. Well, no, it didn't work in general. We've just got away with it because of Karl Darlow and VAR.
I agree with that, though. But what would any other manager would have done better with this squad, though? That's the question you have to ask yourself.
We could have been sat here after a 4-0 defeat.
Yeah.
And we couldn't have argued.
I think for me, Brandon, it's just a case of playing so many players out of position. That's what frustrates me about him. Like, I like him a lot, and I want him to do well. I'm completely on board with a lot of the things that you say, but like today, I can't give him any credit today because, like Sam said, nothing that we did today influenced VAR. We just got lucky with that. That's all it was. Like Sam said, we could have been sitting here with it. It could have been 7. It could have been never 18, 19.
I'm not disagreeing with that, though. I totally agree with that, though. 100%. We got lucky.
Yeah, I've gone for 3, so we've ganged up on you, Brandon. I'm sorry.
We meet in the middle somehow.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yes, that was the score in the players. Obviously joined by Sam and Brandon. I'm sure everyone's happy with the result. I did get carried away and say that we'd won because it feels like that almost, because I can't believe we come away with a point. However, 1-1 at Spurs. We're going to take that all day long. I'm sure some people probably expected something like this to happen because it is usually a circus with Newcastle in these sorts of games. We are going to get this moved over to a group chat with myself, Sam, Brandon, and who else have we got on? Sorry, Sam, forgive me.
Joseph Craig, MBE, Paralympic London 2012, Olympic gold medalist.
Brilliant. That will be absolutely fantastic. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and come straight over to that one once you watch this one. Take care, guys. See you soon.